Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whichever day part you're in. Warm regards to all of you. My name is RJ. I'm head of partnerships here at OmniFlix Network, and welcome all of you to this broadcast. Today, we'll be having BG from SubQuery, and this broadcast is going to be a special broadcast from SubQuery where they would be, showing how developers can build on OmniFlix using SubQuery. So, without further ado, let me just call on the stage BG from SubQuery. Hi, BG, how are you doing today?
Hey folks, doing great. Hey AG, happy to be here. Happy to do a demonstration.
Thank you so much, BJ, for coming here. So, BG, before we go ahead and before I hand over the stage to you, would you like to give us a brief about what SubQuery is and what are we going to talk about in today's broadcast?
All right. So SubQuery is a set of products. I guess the most important component is indexer. So what is an indexer? Indexer is something. I mean, yeah. Let me probably just make an example base. So imagine you're having a wallet, and every wallet is having a use case of showing the past transactions. And unfortunately, you cannot like query a node, just giving your address and returning like the list of your past transactions from just now. Obviously, this is something that is called the historical data, and historical data appears throughout the blockchain, and it should be indexed at every block. So this is what an index is. So it's like a middleware for applications to enable like different historical data use cases. And my workshop is I will I will present the slides. I'll discuss the features of SubQuery, and I'm also going to be finishing with a demo that we've prepared specifically for OmniFlix.
All right, so go ahead and share the screens and go ahead and tell to our community how they can build on OmniFlix network. So I'll be leaving the stage now, and I am handing over the stage to BG from SubQuery.
All
BG,
right.
the stage is all yours.
All right. So, uh, all right, we're gonna be this talk is gonna be split into two parts. Well, first of all, we're gonna be discussing a problem discovery, something that I've actually just talked about. We're also gonna be knowing more about subquery and like different solutions that is giving. Then we're gonna be having a demo time with the specific example for OmniFlix, finally a QA. All right. So again, interesting, and I mean, there are many use cases that require the additional pre-indexing of a blockchain, such as past transactions, where I don't know if you're trying to build a time series where you're building some kind of a statistical dashboard. Unfortunately, from your client application, from your app, from your D app, you cannot query a node right away and get data that you need. You have to have a middleware that will index the raw data from blockchain. Could it be, I don't know, event or message or block or transaction, and somehow handle it and save it in the meaningful form that could be queried. Queried via quite a standard interface that's called GraphQL. And index is one of the components of subquery. So when you have like experimented with subquery with our tool locally, and subquery is completely Docker friendly, so you can launch any subquery project locally. And after doing that, you're probably like wondering, you probably want to deploy it somewhere, and like so that you can consequently plug in the applications to that. You'll essentially have two choices. You'll have a cloud solution that is called managed services, which is essentially a cloud solution developed specifically for subquery. And there's also a decentralized solution, a state-of-the-art network marketplace, a SubQuery network that there is essentially a decentralized cloud specifically geared towards indexing use cases. So why SubQuery? First of all, it's completely open source. Everything is open source, even the requirements engineering are being discussed in GitHub comments. So yeah, you can validate all the code. It's really easy to use. Again, project first in Docker before publishing it anywhere. Thirdly, it's simple. You only have to configure 3 types of files, which I'll be discussing a little bit later. Then it's customizable. Every SubQuery project is TypeScript-based project, so with TypeScript, you can do anything, and obviously enriched with type safety coming from the architecture of the language. It's really feature-rich. There are some specific features for Cosmos. You can generate types from protofiles, and the same goes for the our network families. So for instance, for EVM, you can build the types based on the ABIs. It's really fast, and since recently we've significantly increased the speed of indexing. Obviously, it's real time. Not only you can, implement the queries by polling, but you can also subscribe to the indexer via a WebSocket. That way, you're receiving all data on the fly, essentially. It's multi-chain. That means that from a single project, you can connect to multiple chains. Those chains doesn't have to be from a single family. For instance, if you're trying to build a bridge between Cosmos and, I don't know, an EVM chain, you can create a single indexer connected to multiple chains, so that indexer collects data from those chains and save them within a single queryable database. And yeah, it's really useful for any decentralized application that is working cross-chain. It's very flexible. Again, you should start with self-hosting, and then you can deploy it on our services, managed services, or to a SubQuery decentralized network. Finally, it's compatible with more than 130 networks already. Then again, it's really fast. I guess SubQuery is usually compared to the graph. So just judging by benchmarks, the indexing performance benchmarks, SubQuery is 2 times faster. It's more feature-rich. It supports multi-chain indexing, launching from Docker, simple launching from Docker, and yeah, a lot of networks. So, and we also have prepared a starter project that was pre-configured for OmniFlix Hub. If you want to follow along, you can scan the QR code, and you'll be redirected to the URL that is at the bottom. So yeah, be sure to do it if you want to follow, and I don't know, play with the code and modify it on the fly, and ask me some questions that I don't know the answers to. All right, but we're also having the prerequisites that will be required for you to launch a project. Obviously, you have to Node.js installed. We'll be launching the project from Docker, and we'll also need a SubQuery CLI. So before I jump to the demo part, I'll be having any questions on the theoretical one.
Yeah, I think if any of our viewers who are watching us right now have any questions, go ahead and put it on on the comments. I'll put up your questions on the screen, and BG will take your questions from there and will answer your questions. But however, if you have any questions, go ahead and put it up right now. But yeah, let me pick up few questions here. And I have got a question from Ranip. He says, what is the most curious use case subquery has been used so far, and are you aware of it? His question. Would you like to take up the question, BG?
Well, any use case is interesting. I mean, like building a wallet is really interesting, and I guess yeah, you need an indexer to at least get all the transactions, which is like the simplest use case that you can think of. With multi-chain support feature, we've enabled ourselves to create an indexer that is working with several chains simultaneously in a synchronous manner. This is like one of the kind solution that is enabling you to essentially launch a project and like connect it to a DApp, and from a single code base stored to a single database, which is Postgres in our case. And I mean, with cross chain, any use case is interesting because cross chain is really complex and really sophisticated.
All right, let's take up one more question by Gaetano here. He says, what significant innovations can subquery network bring to the OmniFlix Hub architecture in concrete terms? Can there be tangible improvements for end users?
Yeah. So South Korea is not aiming to, change the architecture of OmniFlix Hub. It is an indexer. It is a essential component to build dApps. And since OmniFlix is built on top of Cosmos SDK, and I believe it's planned to stay there, and giving subquery support of Cosmos SDK, we are enabling the dApp developers who are willing to build like more dApps on top of OmniFlix to simply launch an indexer and like don't think about like the complexities or of running your own like middleware that will have to cache different like raw data in any form, serve it, host it. We're doing it all for you. So it is a infrastructure as a service for decentralized applications builders. And yeah, that's what's so crazy.
All right, so I think let's go ahead and check out the demo, and then let's ask if our viewers has any more questions.
All right. I'll have to quickly switch to my VS Code.
I can see a lot of viewers asking questions with respect to OmniFlix, platforms as well. But yes, we'll answer all those questions. But yeah, if you have any questions for the subquery team here and about the demo which they are giving us right now, please go ahead and type your questions in the comments, and we will pick up the questions from there.
All right, yeah, I'll try to be faster with my demo so that
No
we have
problem. Take your
more
time.
time for questions. All right, so you should be able to see my my screen now.
Yeah, we can see. And I am giving the stage back to you.
Thanks. So I've previously been talking about the prerequisites, namely Node.js, Docker, and SubQL CLI installed. And now I'd like to show you just how simple it is to run your OmniFlix Hub starter project. So you'll just simply have to type SubQL in it, just like Git in it, but SubQL in our case. So then you'll have to choose a name for your project. I'll just take a default one, and then you'll receive a list of the predefined, pre-prepared templates. We're specifically interested in Cosmos templates now, and here we're having the OmniFlix Hub. I'm already having a template downloaded. You know, with with every workshop and doing everything live, you should always like think in advance that things could go wrong. So yeah, I've already downloaded it. So I'm not going to be pressing my Enter button, and you can see on the left hand side that it's already fetched. And if you would select OmniFlix Hub, you would end up with exactly the same set of files that I'm having now. And this is a OmniFlix OmniFlix starter project. And the goal of this project, the goal of this indexer, is to index all transfer events and messages on OmniFlix Hub. Essentially, you'll have to configure three types of files. The first type is a GraphQL schema. If you're familiar with GraphQL, you should be familiar with entities, entity relations, and the way it's consequently being queried from the interface. So in our case, we're having two entities that we want to make queryable, which are transfer event and message. So only those two events we're planning to make queryable from this indexer API. And you won't be able to, I don't know, query block or anything. There is not message or transfer event. And we just want to do it. We just want to manifest that this is exactly and the only entities that we want to make queryable. The second type of the file is a manifest file. Manifest file tells the backend, the node, what exactly one needs to fetch from blockchain, and how exactly to which function exactly this handled block, transaction, or event should be passed to consequently be somehow processed. So we're having four kinds of events, four kinds of entities that we're querying. We can query from Cosmos-based blockchains. Those are events, those are messages, those are transactions, and those are blocks. Since we want to index and make queryable the transfer event and the message, we are handling an event and a message. Starting with the first handler, we are indexing an event of the specific type, of type transfer, with the specific message filter, the one that you're seeing on the screen. And for message, we're also doing the additional filtering based on the same type. We are starting with this block just because some of the public nodes are being pruned. So we have to start with one of the latest blocks, and finally we are inputting the endpoint of an RPC node that we want to fetch this data from. So at this point, we manifested that from this RPC, starting from this block, we want to index an event or a message with this specific conditions, so that those are meeting this specific type. And then we want to pass this entity, whether it be an event or a message, to a handler. Handler is just a function that will further process the specific event or message. And handlers are the third types of files that we'll have to configure. In our case, we're having those stored under SOC mappings handlers.ts file, and we're ending up having only two handlers to function. Those are handle message and handle event. So again, really simple. Here is a handler that here's a manifested part of the code that is telling us that we need to index an event. We need to then pass it as an argument to a handle event function. And here we're having the handle event function itself. So what happens after it's passed? After it's passed, we are writing a TypeScript code, and we can put like any logic here. SubQuery is non-deterministic by default, but we're not limiting the users to, plug in the third-party libraries, so that in addition to fetching data from blockchain, users can also do the HTTP request or anything else. So probably for coin-specific use cases, you'll probably be interested in fetching some data from CoinGecko. It would be also possible because it's all in TypeScript. But in our specific starter project, we're not doing it. What we're doing instead, we're creating a transfer event that's a type automatically generated from the GraphQL schema that we've provided here. We are populating the field, and consequently, we're just like iterating over the attributes of the event and selecting just a proper attribute to fill every property of the transfer event object. And pretty similar goes for a handle message. So instead of creating a transfer event entity here, we're creating a message entity, then we're just populating it with transaction info, with some message specific parameters, such as from address to address, and obviously the parameter, obviously the amount. Then we just save it all with this function. So I've already done the type generation, but if I would have put this comment, it's on Cogen, you would end up with a log of things what are actually happening, and some of the folders are automatically generated, as well as some of the files. For instance, a project YAML file is automatically generated. Types folder is also automatically generated. Again, it's all coming from schema GraphQL file and project TS. So having all the types, you are ensuring a type safety and the robustness and no downtime period for your indexer. So yeah, we try to make it as deployment friendly as possible, as well as development friendly. The project is ready, prepared, and what we have to do now is to launch it. I can do it with Docker. And if you take a look at the package.json file, which is essentially manifesting all the available commands, we're having a special command that's called def. Def is a compilation of 3 commands, a SubQuery codegen, the one that I've just been executing. Then we're building our TypeScript project, and then we are just launching this build project in Docker Compose. You'll have to Docker Compose file is already pre-configured. we're having three components that will be running simultaneously. Those are a Postgres database. Again, all data that is being fetched from blockchain is consequently stored in a Postgres database. The indexing itself is happening with the container SubQuery node. And finally, we're enabling a API layer, a UI in GraphQL. And if you pull the project, you don't need to make any edits here. You can launch it right away. So if I just type yarn dev, fingers crossed, project is going to launch. It's currently generating all the types. It's successfully built. We're seeing that Docker Compose successfully started. We're seeing it started from Postgres. Now it started from Node itself. Seeing a bunch of logs here. Seeing a node that we're connecting to. And finally, we're seeing the messages about the progress of indexing. So I asked an indexer to start with this specific block, and it did. So we're starting an indexer from that block and going on. So since we're having the indexer successfully working, we can now query data. And in order to do it, you would have to open your browser. In my case, it's under port 3000 because it's configured to be that by default. And if I'm just, query transfer events and TX hash. If I want to query transfer events, I can do it by just following the GraphQL conventions. And as you can see, we have successfully indexed some transfer events. You can see the transaction hash of some. So if you can just take a random one and plug it to a MinScan Explorer. Let me actually share my screen for a whole window. All right, probably be more convenient. So if you just select the TX hash and simply paste it to any blockchain explorer, you can see that data here matches. So we're having a transfer indexed on this block, 315, same here, and we're having the amounts the same as well, and every information the same. So we have successfully indexed an RPC node and saved it to a local database and made it queryable. So it's working. The second parameter, the second entity that we also made queryable is message. So let us try to query messages now. In order to do it, we can just type the following query. If I press play button now, I will receive a list of messages with a specified different set of attributes that we made queryable. So again, now I want to, in addition to what we're having, I want to query amount and blockchain height, and I can do it. So here's the amount, here's the blockchain height, and it matches data. So Edrit, that's pretty much everything that I want to show for this like demo section. Are we having any questions that I can answer?
Sure. If any community members have any questions, please go ahead and put your questions in the comment box, and we will pick up your questions. So basically, subquery is a network of nodes that is storing data, and it delivers it to the wider community. Now, BG, just a question for you from my end. How do you think this data can be? I'm sure it can be used in different ways, but what, according to you, in what different ways can this data be used by the wider community?
Well, you can build everything on top of it. Well, starting with app development. Imagine like how many blockchains are already having. Imagine how many blocks every network is having. How many knowledge there is in a single transaction. And unfortunately, it's not. It's just yet it's data. It's not knowledge. It's not information. It's just unstructured data. And with the current level of AI development, for instance, just imagine what would happen if you index at least like a significant part of it and feed it to some kind of an AI. Like how would it be precise?
True.
How smart would it be? How smart would be
Exactly.
your analysis?
We always believe that blockchain and AI combination is going to be a very, solid combination, and it's going to create wonders going forward.
Yeah, we're also believing that.
Yeah, I have a question by CoinMask here. Does one need prior programming knowledge to be able to build with subquery?
Um, Not at all, CoinMask. So probably I can just show the TypeScript snippets here. I mean, we are simply just taking data from blockchain and saving it. We're not doing any computer science. We're not. Um,
Mm, are you there, BG? I think I have lost you. Okay, we'll just wait for a couple of minutes for BG to come back. I think we've lost him. But yes, so I think we had BJ from Subquery tell us a lot of things about how to build on how to build with OmniFlix on Subquery, and yes. So thank you everyone for joining. We'll just wait for like few seconds for uh, we'll see if Subquery will join us back. But I think we have got the required information from Subquery. So if you're a developer and if you're looking to build build with OmniFlix network, go ahead and check out this entire stream. And if you have any questions, okay, I think we've got Subquery back into the space. Hi, BG. Are you
I'm
back?
back. Sorry, guys.
Yes.
Yes, something
Go ahead.
wrong with my internet. I
No
don't know what
problem.
has happened. All right. So, at which point have I disconnected?
Uh, well, you were trying to share your screen. I couldn't see your screen.
All right. Yeah, sorry for that. So,
Mm.
hopefully you can see it now. Well, as you can see
Yes.
here, it's a simple TypeScript code snippet. It's not a rocket science. It's really easy to use. We don't have any, cryptographic, um, complex, you know, type of code. So it's really beginner friendly, and you're getting this beginner friendliness out of the box from us. So answering a question, no, you don't have to. You don't have to have a good understanding of programming to develop this software.
All right, let's pick up another question here. I got a question from Ranip again. I am not much of a technical person, but let me read out the question for you. How the indexer handles transactions involving multiple transfers? It seems it supports only one source gated address combination and one amount.
Well, Not only it supports the one source target address. I mean, yeah, let me try to answer from fundamental standpoint. So if you're developing something like a smart contract that can create simultaneous transfers, you would probably have a specific data structure that will be accepted by specific methods, and you'll probably emit the specific events afterwards or emit messages afterwards um, so that those are stating that this exactly happened on blockchain. Uh, and if there is a message, if there is event, SubQuery can query it. So in our specific example, we are working only with this message send, but you can handle a different message. You can handle a message batch send or like whatever it's called, and then just iterate over its attributes and yeah, see all the receivers and senders and send them and just save them to this schema.
All right. I let me take one last question for the space, and I think I would like to take up this question. A question from Super Pius, who says a channel subquery will be opened on OmniFlix TV. I think that's a brilliant idea of starting a channel, subquery channel on OmniFlix TV and uploading the content which we just spoke, and maybe you can go ahead and upload more content for the viewers to watch it later.
All right, we're excited to.
All right. So thank you, BG, for joining us today and sharing your expertise, knowledge with all our community members, and looking forward to our collaboration together and hoping some really good products, really good apps get built on with built on OmniFlix with the data which you're providing for the wider community.
All right, AJ, if you don't mind, I'll just share a couple of slides
Sure,
that
sure,
are that would be helpful to community if they're seeking support or I don't know anything related to
sure. Please go ahead.
development of subquery. All right, so again, it's really simple to use. As you've seen, I've only configured 3 types of files. Here is a code that I've been using. And essentially what we did, we have indexed transactions, we have indexed the messages. Again, you're having 3 ways to run our project. You can run it locally. It's definitely a recommendation to start locally. Then when you're confident that you can publish it, you can host it on our managed service, which is essentially a Google Cloud or AWS configured specifically for subquery, or you can publish it to a decentralized network. It is very sophisticated topic that I will be covering today. It's having like its own set of actors, but it's completely decentralized and already having a lot of indexes working in this decentralized network. If you're having a prior graph development, be sure to join this page that I'm now showcasing. If you're having any questions regarding the specifics of the configuration, you can visit our documentation, which is being updated daily. And yeah, finally, you can reach out to us and via Discord, Twitter, Telegram. We're everywhere. Yeah, thanks a lot, Ajay, for the opportunity to talk. Thanks a lot on the Flix community for great questions. And yeah, we're excited to continue the collaboration.
Sure. Thank you so much, BG, for taking out your time and joining with us today to share your knowledge. With this, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for watching today's broadcast. We will be back again with very interesting broadcast very soon. If you haven't joined our Discord yet, go ahead and join OmniFlix Network Discord. Follow us on Twitter, and stay tuned to interesting content on OmniFlix.tv. This is RJ signing off for the evening, closing the broadcast in three. Evening for me right now, actually. So closing the broadcast in 3, 2, and 1.